Ironic, chic, joyful, sporty, eccentric, elegant. Whatever your personality, the Fiat 500 expresses it to perfection. That is 6 adjectives for a city car built in Poland. On a platform it's shared with the Panda, we should probably take a closer look. This is the Fiat 500. The year is 2009. The market is Britain, and the task facing whoever wrote this brochure was, if you examine it honestly, a fairly delicate one. Fiat, by the mid-2000s, had a reputation problem. Not a quality problem, exactly, and not a design problem. The 500 was genuinely pretty, and everybody agreed on that. The problem was one of category. For a generation of British buyers, Fiat made affordable, practical, slightly unreliable, small cars. The Uno, the Punto, the Seicento. Cars you bought because they were cheap, not because they made a statement. The Mini had changed everything. When BMW relaunched it in 2001, it demonstrated that a small car could carry a premium price tag, provided it carried sufficient emotional weight alongside it. Buyers would pay extra for meaning. The question was whether meaning could be manufactured. Fiat's answer was this brochure. 21 pages. No price list, no dimensions table, no turning circle. Instead, lifestyle photography, generous white space, and a sustained, carefully art-directed argument that the Fiat 500 was not a vehicle you purchased. It was a personality you selected. The central tension, which the brochure handles with some skill, is that underneath the retro styling, the body-coloured dashboards, and the 549,936 combinations, sits a perfectly conventional small car. Built in Tycka, Poland, on the same floor plan as the budget-focused Fiat Panda and the Ford car. The brochure does not mention Tycka. It does not mention the Panda. And it does not, at any point, mention the Ford car. What it does mention, at some length, is sardines. The brochure's opening move is an act of pure restraint. Page 2 is white space and 2 words set in a monospaced typewriter font in black and red. Be happy. That is all. No image, no car, just the instruction sitting in the silence of the page. You turn it and the mood shifts immediately. Pages 4 and 5 are a full bleed photograph. A 500C, shot from directly behind, is parked on a herringbone brick driveway in what appears to be a prosperous suburban neighbourhood. The houses are large. The lawns are immaculate. The hedges have been trimmed to a uniform height. On the right-hand side of the frame, at the edge of the grass, a solitary football sits. Nobody is playing with it. Nobody is visible anywhere in the frame. But the camera is not interested in the road ahead. It is pointed directly at the rear of the vehicle, which means what the image highlights, what your eye is drawn to, is the folded fabric roof, stacked in its stowed position above the boot. The car is not going anywhere. It is being somewhere. In a suburb so tidy it appears uninhabited, beside a football with no child to play with it. The brochure considers this happiness. It may have a point. Having established that the 500C belongs in a manicured suburb, the brochure now opens it up. Pages 10 to 13 carry the heading, Be Open, and the image that accompanies it earns its placement. The 500C is parked on a broad wooden promenade. Behind it, across a stretch of open water, a city skyline reaches across the full width of the frame. In the car, a man is reclined in his seat, one arm resting on the door, face tilted towards the sky. In the background, a woman walks a dog. The roof is folded back completely. With such a fun, carefree car, how can you resist opening up to the world above? The Fiat 500C will make your dreams come true. Here is a convertible that will make every trip even more pleasurable. Open up and let the sunshine in along every road you travel. The page turn brings us to the roof itself, and here the brochure makes its most committed editorial decision. The special sardine-tin folding system, which may be opened in 3 different positions, means you needn't give up precious centimetres of luggage space in the boot or the comfort of the 4-seat interior. Sardine tin. Someone typed that phrase, read it back, and decided it was the correct comparison. Not a liability to be managed, a feature to be named. It leans into Italian eccentricity rather than reaching for the studied seriousness of Stuttgart or Munich. It is self-aware in a way that German brochure copy of the same era very rarely was. 3 positions, available in red, ivory, and black. The sky, we are told, travels with you. Pages 30 to 31 are where the brochure makes its most ambitious philosophical claim. The heading reads, "Be yourself," and the copy beneath it attempts to establish the 500 as a vehicle of genuine personal expression. Ironic, chic, joyful, sporty, eccentric, elegant, whatever your personality, the Fiat 500 expresses it to perfection. Whether in hatchback or convertible form, the Fiat 500 has a truly open character. That's why it's so eager to get to know you and express your personality through a vast range of options, including unique and original body stickers. The photographs on this spread show 2 white hatchbacks wearing graphic treatments, a checkered racing stripe on one, a butterfly motif with a red roof on the other. They are charming. They are also, unmistakably, stickers. The following spread provides the full evidence. On the left, 3 rows of key covers, 15 variations in total, ranging from plain silver to patterns that suggest, at small scale, a tattoo parlour. On the right, a close-up of a rubbing strip branded Torino. Superimposed, in a neat descending column, 8 city badges. Torino, London, Tokyo, Paris, Roma, New York. All the Fiat 500s you could possibly want, a different one every day. The implication being that a badge reading Tokyo produces, in some meaningful sense, a cosmopolitan vehicle. Also available, makeup holders, iPod holders, fragrance dispensers, and a blackboard on the dashboard, for writing things, while driving. The brochure does not specify what things. The brochure turns, in its latter third, to technology. The spread is headed, "Be Innovative," and the principal image shows the interior of a 500, steering wheel in the foreground, and mounted to the dashboard on a plastic arm, a TomTom satellite navigation unit. The Blue and Me system is introduced. It is powered by Microsoft. The innovative telematics system based on Bluetooth connectivity that lets you use your mobile and listen to music without ever having to take your hands off the wheel or your eyes off the road. This was, in 2009, a reasonable claim. Viewed now, it is a photograph of a technology museum. The TomTom unit alone has dated with a completeness that the car itself has not. 2 spreads later, under the heading "Be Free," the brochure introduces the engine, which actually deserved more copy than it received. There's the new Twin Air, Fiat's revolutionary twin-cylinder engine that downsizes everything from displacement to emissions and consumption, but not performance. The 0.9 turbo delivers 85 horsepower thanks to electronic airflow control and fuel injection, and gives better performance than far bigger engines, as well as less fuel consumption. The 0.9 Twin Air is, by any honest measure, a minor piece of automotive engineering history, a genuinely clever solution to emissions legislation that sounds unlike anything else in its class. The brochure gives it 3 paragraphs spread across 2 pages. The TomTom got more. What this brochure understood, and what it was perhaps too composed to state directly, is that the premium small car market is not, at its foundation, a market for engineering. It is a market for self-narration. For the story a person tells about themselves by choosing one car over another in the same price bracket. The Mini had Britishness and motorsport history and the weight of a cultural moment. Fiat had something different: the accumulated aesthetic authority of Italian design, a lineage that ran back to 1957, and the considerable advantage of being genuinely charming to look at. The brochure's gamble was that charm, properly curated and presented on sufficiently thick paper with sufficient white space, could substitute for the things it didn't have: the premium chassis, the prestige badge, the manufacturing provenance that might justify the price. And the gamble worked. The Fiat 500 sold in substantial numbers and remains in production to this day. 549,936 combinations. A figure so precisely stated it implies a kind of engineering achievement. Most of those combinations were stickers and key covers. All of them, somehow, enough.